Hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with a UFC pay-per-view, finally. Hot off the heels off, again, one of the worst cards of the year. I said that about Atlanta, and I didn't think Baku would be bad. I really didn't. But it was. 2 finishes. All I gotta say is thank you to Nazim Sadikov and Nicholas Mota. I was not that hyped for your fight, but I appreciate both of those guys being absolute warriors and going out like absolute warriors. Yes, I'm giving praise to Nicholas Mota. He actually looked the best he ever did, and Nazim Sadikov looked the most exciting he ever did. That was just such a great fight, and then everything else was so bad. Like, Melissa Mullins, what the fuck? She'd already beaten Daria Zelezniakova, and she just... Yeah. How the hell did Claudia Segula win? God, I'm so glad I didn't bet that. And the one time I thought Hamdi, like, won, he lost. And also, I don't see how Blades beat Kuniev. Like, yeah, I know I picked Kuniev, big dog pick, but, like, come on, how do you give that third round to Blades? Come on. And then Hill versus Roundtree was okay, but could have been better. Either way, that was a very bad card. Thank God that I only had 3 bets on that card, and I missed 2, so not the best, but yeah, I'll take that over. God, that was just a bad card. But all right, here we are on UFC 317. This is International Fight Week. And I'm going to be honest, God, just starting off with negativity. This is not the best. This is probably the best card of the year, but keep in mind, this year it's been a pretty bad card. It's been a pretty bad year for UFC, and International Fight Week is just normally better than this. I just need to say that, like, last year's International Fight Week is ass. This one is way better, but, like, when you look at the International Fight Weeks we used to get, like, it's just absolutely mind-boggling that people are like, oh, this is amazing, we're finally eating good. Like look at this, man. Look at this. This is 290. Way better. Like, yeah, sure, some stupid things like Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn on the main card. Really should have put either of these 2 fights on there. But, like, that's better. But then don't even get me started on 276. Look at this. Look at 276, man. Look at this. This is 100 times better. But oh well. Enough with the negativity. That's 3 minutes of negativity. We're gonna get into UFC 317, which I am excited for, but very top heavy card. First fight on the card is gonna be Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. This is a super short notice fight for both guys, I believe, because this card again was not that good and they just had to slap some more fights on there. But yeah, Price, simply put, he's old and he's washed. He also has like 7 kids too, which is insane. Even when he got into the UFC, he wasn't amazing. He wasn't god tier. He was very similar to like an old school Michel Pereira. He was, I won't say flashy, but he was very dynamic and chaotic, but unfocused. And now he's going up against a Jacoby Smith, who I think is a pretty solid prospect. I don't think an amazing, like, elite level prospect, but I think he's talented. He's got good power. He's very well rounded, and he likes to hurt his opponents. His grappling, ground and pound is the main thing I really am going to look forward to. Keep in mind, Nico Price does have a head kick KO from the bottom, so an up kick KO. So that is something to keep in mind. Jacoby Smith will like to get this down to the ground and beat him up, but at this stage of his career, I also stand by it. Either his chin is shot or he took a dive against Lawler, because Lawler was not knocking people out of that stage of his career, and he one-tapped Nico Price. I think Jacoby Smith could do it, honestly. I'm gonna be taking Jacoby by. Did I write this down? I have notes for it, but I didn't write a pick. Oh, I did write pick. Smith TKO. Yeah, I'm going Smith TKO. Jacoby Smith is probably a massive favorite, by the way. Where are you, Jacoby? Where are you? I'm trying not to look at the odds, spoil myself. No, oh, here he is. All right, no. Oh my god. Yeah, fuck right off with that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I got flabbergasted for a second. Okay, next fight, Jonathan Diniz versus Alvin Hines. By the way, Diniz versus one of the Tafas was supposed to be on the main card. The fact that it got booted down to the second last fight on the card. So you're telling me Justin Tafa is main card? You're telling me that's what I'm gathering from that, and Justin Tafa is not main card material. Get that shit out of my face, man. I don't want to get into the deal with this one. Diniz is a brick house. He is powerful, but his ground game is shite. He likes to sit on the bottom. He's got no issues with it, but he has the better skills in the feet. I'd say he has almost as much power as Hines, who's a massive, massive guy. Hines also uses kicks, and his straight shots are good, but he's sloppy, and he does not give a damn about defense. He is very much a fish defensively, and it's a short notice fight for him, while Diniz was supposed to have an opponent. So I'm going to go with Diniz to get it done. These guys fight like it's a KO, but how the heavyweight division's been going lately, don't expect a cardio kickbox war that goes 15 minutes, but don't not expect. Anticipate it. Diniz, of course, is a minus 300 favorite to Alvin Hines at plus 240. Well, that makes sense. Cedrica's dumbass versus Jackson McVeigh. He was just in jail 2 weeks ago. He was in jail 2 weeks ago. Maybe even less than that. Why did he get a fight on like 4 days notice? What the fuck are we doing, UFC? This guy was in jail. He's literally a felon who someone paid his $500,000 bail, and you know how we're gonna reward him? We're gonna put him on the biggest card of the year. Why the fuck did you put him on International Fight Week? They want to, because people don't like Cedricus Dumas, because look him up. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He did a John Jones. And now they're putting him on International Fight Week? Like, what they're doing is they're trying to, like, build off, like, because people don't like him, so they want to see him get beat up. But, like, you're still giving him a big platform. And what if he wins? Jackson McVeigh, I lean towards him. I think he'll win, but, like, it's not like a hard lean. It's not like I'm like, oh, this dude's a minus 500 gonna murder him. It's not like Gene Silva is highly confident that he's gonna beat the shit out of Bryce Mitchell. Cedricus dumbass wins, like there goes that's actually it's not even his bail money. What are we talking about? The person who's gonna be getting paid his bail money is like Pantoja. Honestly, Pantoja's probably getting like 500K or some bullshit like that. But yeah, Cedricus Dumas just came out of prison literally a week ago. I'm not even kidding. Dips his head a lot. Okay kickboxing, okay wrestling, but I just think he's ass. McVeigh, he has very good Muay Thai skills, and he's very tricky on the ground. He has a 100% finish rate, and he's extremely fast. He's an extremely fast starter and very aggressive. So I'm leaning towards him to get it done. I'm gonna pick him to get it done by, I want to say submission. I did say submission. By submission, minus 140 for McVeigh to plus 120 dumbass. That makes sense. That makes sense, honestly. But that's bad. What if he wins? I don't know. Stupid. Next on to a very hard fight to call. Terrence McKinney versus Slava Claus. Slava Claus, overrated as shit. Overrated as shit. He's very tough and durable and hard to get out there, but like he got dropped by Chase Hooper. I know it's because of the threat of the takedown that Chase Hooper had, and rightfully so, but like, oh my god. What's a Terrence McKinney gonna do to him? But then again, Slava Claus is an ace kickboxer. On the feet, he absolutely mauls people. But yeah, yeah, and Terrence McKinney doesn't have a chin. Like, it's so hard to pick a Terrence McKinney fight usually, but I will say I'm like, I think I'm 100% on him. I think I'm 100% of Terrence McKinney fights, actually, believe it or not. I have to look it up. I'm either 100% or like one fight off, but like I get his fights right, but this is the hardest one because I could see him just mauling Slava Claus on the ground. I could see Slava Claus doing an Esteban Ribovic on him and just KOing him within one round. Either way, this fight is going to end as a finish. I just can't see a Terrence McKinney fight go the distance because he'll get finished later. I don't know. I'm going to go Terrence McKinney, I guess, but not a high confidence and not one I suggest betting. Terrence McKinney is a minus 175 favorite to plus 150 Slava Claus. Slava Claus might be a good dog. But I don't know. This fight, I want to seem sexist, but this fight sucks. Of course, the only women's fight in the card, but this fight sucks. This is one I have the least to say about. Araujo, she's just, man, I have like multiple sensitive notes for every single fight, but this one, that's funny. Araujo, she's just very overall spotty of a fighter, and Cortez is a good wrestler with striking that's getting better. I'm going to be leaning towards Tracy Cortez, but make no mistake, she's not elite. Like, she's not as tested as an Araujo. She's gotten some soft wins and layoffs, and she went up against Rose and didn't really stand much of a chance. Also coming off a little bit of a layoff. Araujo, on the other hand, every good fighter she fights, she loses. But every scrub she fights, she wins. So, it's basically boils down to, do you think Tracy Cortez is a scrub, or do you think she's eh? If she's eh, she wins. If she's a scrub, she loses. I'm going to say she's eh. So I'm going to give it to Tracy Cortez to get it done by decision. Tracy Cortez minus 225 to the plus 185 Viviane Araujo. I disagree with that. Don't bet that. No parlay piece. You don't want to bet that. Hyder Emil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. This should be a good fight. This should be a very solid fight. Hyder Emil, he's very violent. He's a very rapidly improving fighter, but he definitely wants to go for the kill. He's been fighting a little bit more patient, but like, again, still like, he can let the wild man out and it's just gonna all go out. He's gonna go out there and put on a beating. Like I said, very, very, what's the word? Reserved in his last fight out against William Gomis, but when he fought the one Asian Road to Fighter guy, I think his name was Lee. When he fought him, I have to look up, but when he fought him, he just went out there and he just swung. It was just chaos. DC was screaming. He was literally, Daniel Cormier was screaming. That's the highest I've ever heard his voice go, just because, man, it was just an absolute battle to the death. Jaeyoung Lee. Jose Delgado, on the other hand, he's very good. He's not insane, but he's very good. He's on a nice little finish streak. Not only a win streak, a nice little finish streak. I think he's solid. I just think he's slightly the weaker of the two, but this is very much two talented younger fighters, which we don't get nowadays, going up against each other. So I don't know. I could be leaning towards Hyder Emil. I think if it gets chaotic, if he makes it chaotic, he can win. But if he plays a little bit more hesitant like he did against Gomis, I think Delgado could pose some serious problems. And the reach advantage for Delgado is also a problem. So Emil is the underdog. I'm picking the underdog. Emil is going to be plus 150 to plus the minus 180 Delgado. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go Emil to get done by TKO. Jack Hermanson came out of the goddamn basement they keep this man locked in versus Robocop. Robocop is back after that unfortunate knockout to Jared Cannonier. While I am a big Cannonier fan and I am happy Cannonier won, it's ultimately not. I rested my hand on my computer and I almost turned it off. The power button is right freaking there, and I was that close to turning off my computer, and I'd be very upset. But yes, it's very unfortunate that Robocop lost to Jared Cannonier because I killed some momentum for the division, but he's still a fun fighter. I love Robocop. I don't like Jack Hermanson. I hate his style. He has very much a stick and move style. Doesn't want to get hit. Stays the fuck away from like actual violence. And he fights once a year. He's coming off a big layoff after fraud checking Joe Pfeiffer, and like, yeah, cool, I guess. But like, I really wish Joe Pfeiffer knocked him out. Sorry. But yeah. Also, Hermanson has been submitted before, and I always say this about Robocop. I say two things about Robocop. I almost didn't say my trademark. I've talked about Robocop a lot on this channel, so you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the first thing I almost forgot. He's never been the same since the Cheaty fight. He's never been the same since the Cheaty fight. Then again, he was fighting a little bit like old Robocop against Cannonier, and look how that turned out. But yes, Robocop, also I say he needs to lean more on his grappling. He doesn't do it as much, but if he can out grapple Jack Hermanson. His defensive grappling is very good, but I think Robocop, if he really wants to get that win, he could easily get a submission over Hermanson. But yeah, ultimately Robocop, and I'm gonna pick Robocop by, I wrote decision, but he could possibly knock him out of ground and pound. I'm going to go Robocop TKO. That's what I wrote down. And he's minus 192 to the plus 160 for Jack Hermanson. And on to the main card of the evening. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Man, Peyton Talbot has lost so much momentum and hype, and it's to be expected. I do think people are underrating Raoni Barcelos. I do think so too after seeing him go up against Cody Garbrandt. But I just don't think Peyton Talbot, I don't think he's as good as he needs to be. Felipe Lima is a very talented striker with really good grappling. Peyton Talbot is a tank with shit defense, but he just doesn't care, and he throws power, and he's got lots of power, lots of tools to win. Very explosive dynamic, but I think Felipe Lima is just a more well-rounded fighter overall. I'm going to be leaning towards Felipe Lima, mainly because I'm going to be banking on him using his wrestling. But if he doesn't use his wrestling and he gets a little cheeky with it, he can lose. He can lose. He is primarily more of a striker, just got good grappling. He's more so a club and sub kind of guy, so hard to say, but I'm going to go Felipe Lima to get done by decision. And he is minus 200 to the plus 170 Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot against Barcelos, was he like minus 1,000 or something like that? Yeah, that's why you don't bet the heavy favorites. That's why you don't do that. And now on to the best fight in the card, probably. Is it? It's between Ilia and Charles or this one. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll get into it why, but I think this is the best fight in the card. I'm sorry. I like this fight way better. The only thing that sucks is this is too big a step up for Joshua Van, and it's short notice. Not super short notice, but short notice. And Brandon Royval is a top 5 gatekeeper. He's a title shot gatekeeper. He's not just a gatekeeper of like top 10 loser scrubs. He's a gatekeeper of, if you want to get a title shot, you gotta go through Brandon Royval, like a 2021 Robert Whittaker or something like that, or 2020 Robert Whittaker. Brandon Royval, he has volume, he has cardio, he's got a pretty good chin as well too, and the most important part in this matchup is he's got the grappling. Joshua Van, we've seen him have good takedown defense, but he hasn't fought a grappler. Ray Saruya is a road to UFC fighter, so. But Joshua Van has looked overall good TP on the feet. He's also been looking a little bit better in his fights, but he did get away from the body shots in that last fight. The body shots is his main best weapon, and he didn't utilize them nearly as much as I felt he should have and could have in his most recent fight against Bruno. Jesus Christ. His fight was just like 2 weeks ago, and I already forgot his opponent's name. I just rewatched it too. My mind is slowly going. I'm under extreme duress of having a goddamn awful job of World War 3 around the corner. Bruno Silva. I overall like Joshua Van a lot. I want him to win, but I fully believe that this is too much of a step up for him. When he's getting to that third round, he's going to start getting drowned by Royval. The only thing is he doesn't have the power. I was going to say he doesn't have the power of Charles Johnson. Like Charles Johnson's some power puncher, but I don't think he has power. I don't think he's going to knock out Van, but he can submit him or he can outlast him by decision. Van cannot. I just can't see him knocking out Royval. I just don't think he has that kind of power. He's been putting more pop on his shots, but I don't think he hits hard enough to knock out a Royval. I just think he can outlast him, but that's hard, man. If he just starts tearing up his body and just absolutely saps the energy from him, yeah, but like, it sucks. I really want Joshua Van to win. I really do, but he's a plus 105 underdog to the minus 125 Royval. I am so... Oh, he's a favorite in some places. Yo, DraftKings, I'm betting Joshua Van. I'm 100% betting Joshua Van. He is very much a live dog, but I just think Royval's probably going to win. Honestly, Royval, I'm probably going to sprinkle parlays. I don't know. I'm going to go with Joshua Van decision. Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Didn't they say they were going to hook up Beneil Dariush? Didn't they say they were going to do good with him? Like, why they just give him the matchup he initially had? That's just dumb. Oh, well. Regardless, did I talk about this fight last time? I think I did. Either way, I'm going Renato Moicano. I think Beneil Dariush is washed. If you look at his interviews too, he's questioning if he still got it. I don't think he ever truly had it. At one point, Beneil Dariush was ranked number 3 in the lightweight division because he beat Tony Ferguson in a very one-sided but still lackluster domination. Beneil Dariush, he's got a big left hand and he's got good grappling. But Renato Moicano's got better grappling, improved striking. He's not gonna do him like he just did against Charles and Arman, who knocked him out one punch. Renato Moicano's not doing that. He only recently started getting knocked out. I remember I was clowning him for never getting a knockout. In the very next fight, he got a knockout. But I think Renato Moicano is going to be better in this matchup. I think he may have lost a little bit of confidence getting subbed in one round from Islam Makhachev, but that's Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev would do the same thing to Beneil Dariush. People aren't ready for that. Even though Islam Makhachev is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, I still think people underrate him, honestly. So even I underrate him. I said, he's going to steamroll Moicano, but it's not going to be a round 1 finish like he's a scrub. And he took about 1 round. And I was like, Volkanovski, he's going to go probably the full distance again. He may be coming off the couch, but it's still Volkanovski. And he killed him 1 round. So, yeah. I'm going to go with Renato Moicano. I think he's good. I think he's better. I think he's got momentum. I think Beneil Dariush just doesn't have it anymore. So I'm going to be taking him to get done by decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Beneil Dariush. I think the grappling exchanges are going to be very dynamic and stuff like that. But make no mistake, though, it's not a surefire win. Beneil Dariush is still live. If the Beneil Dariush that fought Gamrot comes out, by the way, super inactive. But if the Dariush that fought Gamrot comes out, that's a perfect style to beat Renato Moicano. But I don't think it'll happen. Moicano minus 162, Dariush plus 136. And now we're on to the co-main event of the evening: Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Pantoja is going to be 35 years old, 29 wins, 5 losses, 8 knockouts, 11 submissions, 5'5" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 67.5-inch reach, disadvantage, a 2.74 takedown average, a 47.44% significant strike accuracy, minus 275 favorite. Significant wins over Kaya Sakura, Steven Erceg, Brandon Royval, and Brandon Moreno ×2. I think he actually beat Royval twice too. I think I messed up there. Kai France going to be 32 years old, 25 wins, 11 losses, 12 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5'4" in terms of height. Switch stance, 69-inch reach advantage, a 0.61 takedown average, a 33.33% significant strike accuracy, plus 225 underdog. Significance over Steve Erceg. Why did I write Steven and Steve? Oscar Askarov and Cody Garbrandt. I like Kai France, but I think he's not going to win this. I want him to be... See, part of me wants to be champion because I do like the guy, but then also, like, he's so inactive lately, man. He's been fighting once a year, basically. Yeah, he's had one fight a year for a while now. I've changed my tune. Just give me Pantoja to get it. Pantoja's active. He's a great fighter. He should not be that low in the pound-for-pound ranking. He should be above Merab. He should be above Merab in the pound-for-pound ranking. I don't care what anyone says. I also don't think Merab should be number 2. I think Ilia and Islam are still better than Merab. I think Tom Aspinall should be higher than Merab. But regardless, Pantoja needs to go up on the pound-for-pound list. He is powerful. He can be a chaotic brawler. He fights a little bit more safe and reserved nowadays. And he will lay and pray, which I'm not a fan of. Or he'll like sit on the back and backpack, I'm not a fan of. But when he goes after finishes, he's very fun to watch, like he did against Kaya Sakura. And also, he was very fun to watch in the Moreno fight as well, too. The Royval and Erceg fights are not the best, but oh well. One thing to keep in mind, though, Kai France does have power. While Pantoja barely beat Steve Erceg, Kai France flatlined him in 1 round. So that's one thing to mention. But that big power shot, that's all Kai France really has. He's got good takedown defense. Stuffing a lot of takedowns, but still against the Albazi fight, you're still able to get held up against the fence and stuff like that. I'm going to be leaning towards Alessandro Pantoja, and I think he wins, and I hope he wins. But Kai France is a live dog. I think he has a chance. And on to the main event of the evening. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Let me just get this out the way. This is not what we should have gotten as headliner. I'm going to just say it. It should not be Charles in here. It should be Arman, who's the backup for whatever reason. And I'm going to say even worse. You know what it really should have been? If the UFC were not idiots, they should have made it Islam versus Arman. And then this as a co-main event for #1 contender spot. But Ilia, they only want him to fight for the belt. And they want Islam to go F off to welterweight. The UFC lost money there. Because guess what? You do Ilia versus Charles. Spoiler, I think Ilia wins, and then Islam beats Arman. Boom, that's now even more of a super fight. But I guess Charles Oliveira is gonna be 35 years old, 35 wins, 10 losses, 10 knockouts, 21 submissions, 5'10" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 74-inch reach advantage, a 2.25 takedown average, a 63.07% significant strike accuracy, plus 300 underdog. Significance for Michael Chandler twice, Benil Dariush, Justin Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier. Ilia Topuria is going to be 28. Wow, he's younger than me. 16 wins, not a damn loss. 6 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'7" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 69-inch reach disadvantage, a 2.02 takedown average, a 50% significant strike accuracy on the dot. Minus 400 favorite, with significance over Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, Josh Emmett, and Bryce Mitchell. So there's been a lot of people flippy-floppy going like, oh, Charles got it. Charles is such a live dog. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Charles is a live dog, but I'm not buying it. Yes, we have no idea how Ilia Topuria is going to be at the top level at lightweight. He only had 1 lightweight fight against Jai Herbert where he almost died. Still got possibly one of the best knockouts of the year, but still. Ilia Topuria is just... I don't want to say he's got aura. I don't want to say that, but like, he's got the methods to beat a Charles Oliveira. I've been saying for a long time, just traditional wrestling beats out this BJJ that Charles has. That's why Armin and Chandler had so much success against him in their fights. But it's hard to say. Charles Oliveira still hits hard, insane offense, and really good submission grappling off his back. But he's slowed down. People don't want to hear this, but he is slowed down massively. I'm going to say it. He looked awful in the Chandler rematch. He did not look good. He didn't look good in the Armin fight. And honestly, like, last time he looked good was against Dariush. And he looked great against Islam. You're probably thinking, but he got submitted in 2 rounds. Yeah, but that was vintage Charles. It's just, Islam's just that much better. But like, and also Beneil Dariush is not that good. But also like, Chandler and like, Chandler, I just really don't get. Like, you first fight, you get him out in 2 rounds. The next fight, he goes to full distance, almost finishes you in the 5th. Is an indication that he is slowing down. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy into Ilia Topuria getting it done. Even if it wasn't for that, I lean slightly towards Ilia Topuria. But hearing that, the power of Ilia, the boxing speed, the combinations is just all off the charts. He doesn't throw high kicks or leg kicks, or high kicks or body kicks. He throws occasional leg kicks. I think Charles can catch him. He'll hurt him. I think it'll be a back and forth war, but I'm ultimately going to take Ilia Topuria to get it done. And I'm going to pick him to go No, I'm going to pick him to finish, but a late finish. I think this will be an absolute war. Like I said, it's really between this fight and the Van fight as to which I think is going to be the best fight of the night. But yeah, ultimately, Ilia Topuria by TKO is going to be the pick. So, once again, that's been your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think of this card down in the comment sections below, and bye-bye.